Today we'll be talking about the Democratic nominee for president, Hillary Clinton. I'm just going to start off this video by saying I'm not tied to any political party and I will not be voting because the lesser of two evils to me is not a choice. And the fact that the citizens of this country aren't completely revolting at our choices and candidates is absolute insanity. But today I'm going to go through a few points of why Hillary shouldn't even be a nominee and why she should be in prison. I stumbled upon this article. The link is right there in front of you, but there's 44 reasons on why Hillary should not be elected. I'm not going to go through all 44, but there's just a few here that I want to point out. One, the Benghazi and her committing perjury and lying under oath. One of the most telling examples was during her Benghazi testimony when she claimed a video had inspired a protest that ended up killing Ambassador Stevens and 3 other Americans, which was subsequently shown to be a lie. Her response was, "What difference does it make?" Just the insensitivity of this woman. She's a complete narcissist. Another one on here that I recognized was the email gate, illegally mixing government and personal emails. She set up a homebrew server to hold official government property in terms of classified information. She also used her official government work email to conduct private and personal business. The depths of their corruption is just mind-boggling. Number 6 on here was her selling state secrets to foreign countries. Mike Rivero of WhatReallyHappened.com puts forth impressive evidence that Hillary has deliberately sold U.S. government state secrets to foreign countries. She and Bill did this with China during Bill's presidency. Hillary may have also intentionally set up homebrew server with weak security that could easily be hacked, so the hackers could get information and Hillary could claim the problem was a weak or flawed security rather than a deliberately set up situation to leak data. Number 7 on here is the allegations of Bill, especially when he was governor of Arkansas, rape allegations and her being the cover-up agent. And given that she is a spokesman for this feminist movement and propaganda, women should be appalled with her behavior of even staying with this man who's obviously one, an adulterer, and 2, possibly worse, a rapist. During her failed stint as Secretary of State, a State Department spokesman pointed out a single tangible achievement by Clinton. She wasted $80 million on the Afghan U.S. consulate. She lost $6 billion due to improper filing of contracts. She refused to classify Boko Haram as a terrorist group, leading to the kidnapping of 300 school children. This is the tip of the iceberg. Number 10 on here is her flip-flopping on NAFTA, which was passed by Bill during his presidency. It was initially pushed by Bush Sr. and then eventually passed by the Clinton administration. She also flip-flops on marriage equality. Now that it's fashionable to be pro-gay marriage, she's obviously in that corner, but originally she did not support it. This one here is an interesting one because this is one I've never seen before, and I don't know because I've done some exhaustive research on the Clintons over the years, but this one was Bloodgate, selling AIDS-infected blood. When Bill was governor of Arkansas, he was awarded a fat contract to a Little Rock company called Health Management Associates, HMA. The company was paid $3 million a year for medical services for the state's prison system. They paid prisoners $7 a pint and then resold their blood at massive profits on the international plasma market for $50 a pint. HMA's entry into the blood market coincided with the rise of AIDS in America. But HMA did not screen the prisoner's blood, even after the FDA issued special alerts about higher incidence of AIDS and hepatitis in prison populations. In Canada alone, more than 7,000 people died from contaminated blood transfusions, many of them hemophiliacs. More than 4,000 of them died of AIDS. In 1986, public outrage forced the cancellation of HMA's contract. And there's obvious ones on here about Whitewater, drug testing in the White House, bribes from foreign nations. And I think just any one of these alone should be enough for a public outrage. The fact that she's received large funds from Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, DLA Piper, JP Morgan Chase, and Morgan Stanley, all of them over $500,000 or more. But I think it's curious for me, living in Los Angeles, the fact that I think if anybody really did any digging on these protests against Trump, and again, I'm not a Trump supporter, but somebody's hiring these protesters. I'm not sure if they're using a PAC fund through the ACLU or what, but I know these people would not be organizing by themselves if there wasn't some sort of payment. Like I said, I think it would be interesting if somebody really looked into that and saw, who is behind these organized protests, what group, what these people are getting as far as payment to show up and create a lot of strife. Because out here in Los Angeles, Orange County, and then recently in San Jose, there's been, assaults on people coming in, and like I said, I'm not a Trump supporter, but anybody who wants to support him is their right. And coming out of these political rallies, they're being assaulted and getting the hell beat out of them, and the cops are standing down. And it's just, it's curious who's pulling the strings behind these protests. And the last thing I want to touch base on here, and this is the one that I read probably 15, almost 20 years ago. It was about the Clinton body count. And there's a link on your screen there to go to this, and it's interesting page. The guy updates it, annually almost, and it's just there's almost 100 or more people that are linked closely with close ties to the Clintons that have died over the years under really strange causes. And I don't care who you are, a long enough timeline, there's going to be people that die around you, but people with, due to plane crashes, self-inflicted gunshot wounds, and other strange circumstances, it just doesn't happen. So anyways, these are my thoughts on Hilary, and why you should not vote for her, why you should boycott the whole American political process at this point. This whole system needs to be vetted completely. Every representative and senator should be completely removed, and we need to start all over. That's where we stand. The corruption is so deep, you got to cut it out at its root.